I'm still reeling, even weeks after it all happened. My heart pounds just thinking about it, about the cold, the fear, and the absolute betrayal. I'm sitting here, looking at the legal documents on my kitchen island, and a part of me still can't believe the depths of selfishness one person can plumb. My name is Jessica. I'm 37, and this is the story of how my nanny, the woman I trusted with my children, almost destroyed my family's future because she couldn't miss her Sunday game. Let me give you some context. My husband, Tom, and I have 3 kids. 8-year-old twins, Liam and Lily, and our youngest, 4-year-old Chloe. Chloe was born with a congenital heart defect. It's not immediately life-threatening, but it requires corrective surgery, which we've been planning for months. It's a major, complex procedure, and we've been counting down the days. Our entire lives revolve around Chloe's health and making sure we can provide her with the best possible care. This surgery, scheduled for next month, is critical. We have excellent health insurance through my company, a high-tech startup where I'm a senior executive. It covers everything. Because of our demanding jobs and Chloe's special needs, we hired a live-in nanny, Brenda, about 6 months ago. Brenda came highly recommended, had years of experience, and seemed wonderful during the interview process. She was in her late 40s, always impeccably dressed, spoke softly, and projected an air of calm efficiency. She adored the kids, or so it seemed, always engaging them, reading to them, playing games. We paid her well, offered generous benefits, and treated her like part of the family. We even included her on our family health insurance plan, as per her request, because she said she had some minor health issues she needed to address. It felt like a fair exchange for the peace of mind she brought. Our health insurance, like many corporate plans, is managed through an online portal. As the primary policy holder, I have full access to view, add, or remove beneficiaries and make payments. Brenda, as a listed beneficiary and employee, could also log in to view her own benefits, but not make changes to the primary policy or other family members. Or so I thought. The whole nightmare unfolded on a bitterly cold Sunday in early February. Tom had to fly out early Saturday morning for an urgent business trip to the West Coast. I had planned a weekend getaway with the kids to a cabin in the mountains, about 3 hours drive away. Chloe needed a change of scenery before her surgery, and the twins were desperate for snow. Brenda was scheduled to work Saturday, watching the kids while I packed and prepared, and then she was off Sunday. This was her usual arrangement. Weekends off with occasional shifts if we needed her, for which we always paid extra. We left for the cabin on Saturday afternoon. The forecast had mentioned light snow, but nothing serious. By Sunday morning, however, things had taken a turn. A massive blizzard rolled in overnight. We woke up to knee-deep snow, strong winds, and whiteout conditions. The local authorities issued an emergency travel advisory. All roads were closed, and it was unsafe to leave. We were effectively stranded in the cabin. No big deal, I thought. We had plenty of food, games, and the kids were thrilled with the snow. My phone rang around 8:30 a.m. It was Brenda. "Good morning, Brenda. Everything okay?" I asked, a little surprised, as she rarely called on her days off. "Yes, I just wanted to confirm something about my health insurance." "Oh, what's up?" "I tried to log in, and it seems there's an issue. It says my coverage is pending or something, and I need to go to a specialist today." I frowned. "Today? On a Sunday?" "Brenda, most specialists aren't open on Sundays, and I haven't heard anything about your coverage changing. Let me check the portal when I get a chance. I'm a bit busy with the kids. We're snowed in at the cabin. The blizzard is pretty intense here." "Snowed in?" she asked, her voice laced with thinly veiled annoyance. "So seriously? So you're not coming home today?" "No, Brenda, we literally can't. All the roads are closed. They're saying we might be stuck here until Monday afternoon, maybe even Tuesday." There was a heavy sigh on the other end. "Unbelievable. So I suppose you won't be back to take care of the kids if I just decide to leave." "Leave for what, Brenda? You're off today. You don't have responsibilities today."
Yes, but I have plans. It's Sunday. I have my game to watch, and I was going to my sister's house, which is an hour's drive. How am I supposed to get there now with all this snow? You expect me to just sit at your empty house all day? I was taken aback by her tone. Brenda, I'm sorry you're inconvenienced, but we're stranded. This is an emergency weather situation. And my house isn't empty. Our dogs are there. They need to be let out. Ugh, fine. But about my insurance, I really need to get this sorted today. I have a problem and I need to see a doctor. I told you, Brenda, I'll look into it as soon as I can, but I'm juggling 3 kids in a blizzard right now. Give me a few hours or until we get back home. Nothing's going to happen on a Sunday. Well, that's just not good enough, she snapped, and then before I could respond, she hung up. I was annoyed, but I brushed it off. Brenda was usually so professional. Maybe the unexpected change in plans had stressed her out. I focused on keeping the kids entertained. We built snowmen, had snowball fights, drank hot chocolate. But as the afternoon wore on, my phone battery started to drain. We were in a somewhat remote area and service was spotty. Around 2 p.m., I finally managed to get a signal for long enough to call my company's HR department. I figured I'd try to get ahead of Brenda's insurance issue so it wouldn't be a problem when we got back. I spoke to Sarah from HR, who handled our benefits. Hi, Sarah. It's Jessica. I'm calling about an issue with our nanny, Brenda's, health insurance. She says there's a problem with her coverage. There was a pause. Jessica, I'm showing that Brenda's coverage, along with your entire family's coverage, was canceled this morning, effective immediately. My blood ran cold. Canceled? What are you talking about? That's impossible. I never canceled it. Well, the system shows that the primary policyholder initiated a full cancellation this morning at approximately 9:15 a.m. Everything was terminated. Did you perhaps log in and make changes? Or did you authorize someone to do so? No, absolutely not. I've been stranded in a blizzard with my kids since yesterday. Who did this? Can you see who logged in? The system shows the cancellation was initiated from your user account, Jessica, the primary policyholder. There's an IP address log, but that usually just gives us a general location, not a specific person. My heart plummeted. 9:15 a.m. That was less than an hour after Brenda's frustrated phone call. I knew, with a sickening certainty, who had done it. But how? She didn't have my password. Unless I had a terrible habit of sometimes leaving my laptop open when I was working from home, especially if I got up quickly to tend to one of the kids. Had she seen me type it in? Had she found it written down somewhere? Sarah, please, this is a catastrophic error. My daughter Chloe has major heart surgery scheduled for next month. If our insurance is canceled, it means no surgery, no coverage, nothing. Can you reinstate it immediately? Jessica, I'm so sorry, but cancellation requests usually require a reapplication process. It's not a simple flip of a switch, especially for a full family plan. It could take weeks, even months to get it back up and running. And your daughter's surgery is next month? This is really bad. I ended the call with Sarah from HR, my mind reeling. Brenda had canceled our entire family's health insurance. She had jeopardized Chloe's life-saving surgery. Why? Just because she was annoyed about being snowed in and missing her game? It was a level of maliciousness I couldn't comprehend. The rest of Sunday was a blur of frantic calls to Tom, who was equally furious and distraught, and trying desperately to reach our insurance provider only to be met with automated systems and long hold times. My phone died repeatedly due to the cold and poor signal. The kids were oblivious, happy in their snow fortress, while my world crumbled around me. By Monday afternoon, the roads were finally cleared enough for us to make the treacherous drive home. The minute we walked in the door, I found Brenda in the living room, watching TV, looking perfectly serene. Our dogs, usually ecstatic to see us, were cowering in a corner, looking miserable. The house was a mess. Brenda, I said, my voice dangerously calm. We need to talk. Did you cancel our family's health insurance this morning? She looked up startled, her composure cracking. What? Of course not. Why would I do that? Because you were inconvenienced, because you couldn't watch your game at your sister's house, because you needed your Sunday, I said, my voice rising. Don't lie to me, Brenda. The cancellation was initiated from my account from this house at 9:15 a.m. yesterday morning, less than an hour after you called me complaining about being stuck here.
Her eyes darted away. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it was a glitch. I did check my benefits on the portal, but I didn't change anything. No, Brenda. You went further than checking. You canceled the entire primary policy, and you know what that means? It means my 4-year-old daughter, Chloe, can't have her heart surgery next month because of you. Brenda's face paled. She looked genuinely shocked, not just at being caught, but at the potential consequences of her actions. What? No, I didn't. I wanted to teach you a lesson for stranding me, for making me miss my plans. You think you can just leave me here all weekend? And the dogs needed to be walked? You left me with all that? It was my Sunday, my only day to relax. I stared at her, utterly speechless at her colossal self-pity and entitlement. You wanted to teach me a lesson by jeopardizing my child's life-saving medical care? You are insane, Brenda. You are a monster. Pack your bags. You are fired. Get out of my house. She stood up, her face twisted in anger. Fine, you know what? You're a terrible employer anyway, always making demands, and I was doing you a favor by staying. And as for your precious Chloe, it's not my fault if your insurance is messed up. Maybe you should have better insurance. She stormed off to her room, muttering about how ungrateful we were. I was shaking with rage. I called the police, filed a report for potential fraud and malicious damage, our insurance being a service. They said they'd investigate, but it might be hard to prove intent or direct access without concrete evidence beyond the IP address. Then I called my lawyer. He advised me that while the police might struggle, a civil suit for damages, the cost of the surgery, lost wages, emotional distress, would be strong, especially with her own confession. But a confession wasn't enough. We needed proof. Tom and I brainstormed. How could she have gotten my password? I always used strong, unique passwords. Then Tom remembered something. Honey, you know that old laptop you keep in the guest room? The one you sometimes use if I'm on the main one? You logged into the insurance portal on that one a few weeks ago, right? And you mentioned it wasn't updating properly, so you manually clicked Remember Password for just that one site? My blood ran cold again. I always cleared browser history and never saved passwords, but that one time I had been in a hurry. The guest room was right next to Brenda's room. She often used the guest room laptop to print things or check emails if her own was slow. I ran to the guest room, opened the laptop, and sure enough, when I navigated to the insurance portal login page, my username was pre-filled, and the password field showed those familiar dots. All she had to do was click Log In. She had found the cached password on the guest room laptop. It was premeditated. But that still wasn't the smoking gun. It proved access, but not intent or her malicious glee. And then I remembered one crucial detail. My startup was obsessed with home security. We had installed a state-of-the-art system complete with motion-activated cameras throughout the common areas of the house. We had told Brenda about them, of course, but she seemed to have forgotten the one crucial detail. They weren't just for outdoor security. They also recorded audio. My heart pounding, I pulled up the security footage from Sunday morning. I fast-forwarded to around 9 a.m., and there she was, Brenda, sitting at the guest room desk, my laptop open. Her face in the grainy footage was grim. She was muttering to herself. Oh, you think you can just leave me here snowed in, missing my game, missing my plans? We'll see about that. I watched her as she clicked around and then slowly, deliberately navigated to the insurance portal. I saw her hesitate, then click Log In. Her face hardened. Let's see how much you like this interruption, she whispered, her finger hovering over the Cancel Policy button.
Then she clicked it. A look of malicious satisfaction spread across her face. She leaned back, stretching. There. Now that's a Sunday. Then she got up, poured herself a cup of coffee, and walked into the living room to turn on the TV. I had it! Every single word, every malicious click, the full, unvarnished truth of her betrayal, caught on camera with audio. My lawyer was ecstatic. Jessica, this is gold. This is more than just proof. It's a clear demonstration of intent and malice. This isn't just a civil suit. This is a criminal charge waiting to happen. Fraud, potentially even reckless endangerment given your daughter's medical condition. We'll get her for this. Brenda was served with a lawsuit a week later. She tried to deny everything, claiming it was a mistake, a misunderstanding. But then my lawyer sent her lawyer the link to the cloud-stored video, the full, unedited footage with audio. Her lawyer called mine the next day, practically sputtering. The jig was up. Brenda's defense crumbled. She had no recourse. The video was irrefutable. The news spread like wildfire. Our local community group where I had initially found Brenda was ablaze with warnings. Other families she had worked for were coming forward with stories of odd behavior, small acts of sabotage, and a general air of entitlement. My company's HR department immediately fast-tracked Chloe's insurance reinstatement, acknowledging the extreme circumstances and the criminal nature of Brenda's actions, and signing the video as critical evidence. Within days, Chloe's coverage was fully active again, just in time for her pre-op appointments. Brenda was facing criminal charges, and my civil suit was progressing rapidly. The damages would be significant. She had lost her career, her reputation, and was looking at serious legal repercussions, potentially even jail time, all because she couldn't miss her Sunday to watch a football game. The kids are still a bit shaken from the snowstorm, but Chloe's surgery is back on track. I'm still processing the level of betrayal, but there's a quiet strength in knowing I fought back, that I didn't let her destroy my family. Brenda thought she could get away with it, that she could play the victim, that her Sunday was more important than my child's life. But she didn't know I recorded everything. She didn't know that my silent security cameras would become the loudest voice of justice. And now she'll never forget the Sunday she tried to ruin my life because it's the Sunday that ruined hers.